What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about. We're mentioning this weekend's world title fight at 140 pounds between the undisputed world champion Katie Taylor taking on for the third time Amanda Serrano. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? Could you also like this video? And right now, go down to the bottom of your screen, find the bell notification button, click that so you never miss a video. All right, guys, we turned the page on another week that was in boxing. We covered the fights that took place in Turkey midweek that saw Jazza Dickens overcome the odds and defeat the undefeated gold medal Olympian Albert Bardagaziev. And then we took our show on the road to Manchester, England, and we saw the return of Joe Cordina getting back on his winning ways, as well as Jack Catterall entering the 147-pound division and beating Harlem Eubank. That being said, we have a crazy month of boxing, starting off with the ladies. An awesome card that'll be streaming live on Netflix from New York City, headline between two of the greatest female boxers of their era, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. Guys, this is a trilogy. So in this video, what we're gonna be doing is going over both ladies' careers, talk a little bit about how they go about their business, what's at stake in this third fight, and stay tuned to the end of the video. Like always, I'll be going over the current Las Vegas odds and be giving you my prediction and telling you where to put your money. All right, guys, very rarely we see trilogies in boxing in which one of the fighters hasn't won a fight. We do know the first two fights went Katie Taylor's way. I just watched both fights once again, and if you ask me, I'm gonna say what I said after the first two fights. I thought both fights could have gone to Amanda Serrano. They were both very razor close. The judges disagreed with me and gave both fights to Taylor. Thus, a third fight is at stake. Dare I say, what could be at stake if Serrano wins? Would we see a fourth fight? Is it possible for a fifth fight? Who knows? That's just speculation. This is going down at 140 pounds. We know this is for the undisputed title. You know she wants to redeem those losses. Will this be a case of when Pacquiao gave Marquez one too many fights, and we know that didn't play in Pacquiao's favor? Will this happen with Katie Taylor? This is gonna be a classic southpaw versus orthodox. We've seen a lot of rounds between these two, and it's just gonna come down to what style you like better, especially if you're one of these judges. People have favored Taylor's volume, and they have favored Taylor's output versus Serrano's precision, accuracy, and punch power. When you look at some of the statistics, which we'll be going over in a bit, traditionally, even though at a lighter weight class, Serrano has the power advantage. When you look at some of the intangibles, even though Katie Taylor is older than Serrano, Serrano's been a pro 7 years longer than Taylor, 139, 136. You got to think that this is going to be as fan-friendly as the first two fights have been. So right now, I do want to remind everybody what's at stake. All right, guys, the trilogy fight between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano is nearly here. Taylor vs. Serrano 3 headlines an all-women's fight card in Madison Square Garden. Taylor's undisputed super lightweight title will be at stake in the main event. In total, 6 title fights will take place on the boxing card, which streams live on Netflix. And I quote, "We're gonna go out there and we're gonna put it all on the line this fight. So you're gonna see who the true champion is July 11th, Serrano said at the pre-fight press conference. Taylor has to prove to everybody and to herself that she beat me convincingly. Both of those fights. And I need to go out there and prove to those judges, like, come on, what are you watching? If you look at those fights, you can clearly see that I won those fights," said Taylor. It's really, really insane that she thinks she won those fights. The fight, which headlines an all-women's card, is currently scheduled to be contested over 10 two-minute rounds, something that Serrano was not happy with. And I quote, "First of all, we shook on it. Serrano said of the fight being 3-minute rounds. She didn't agree when we went to sign the contract, though. I think as a matter of principle that the challenger shouldn't be dictating the terms of the fight," Taylor said in reply. "I am 2-0 here, and I'm in the driver's seat here, and that's only right. At the end of the day, Amanda needs this fight a lot more than I do. I have a long history of big fights against big names, and a line of people queuing up to fight me for the payday. End of quote. Guys, it's an exciting fight. It's close on the odds. It's close with the boxing experts. When you're watching other YouTube content creators, you're going to see people siding with Serrano. A lot of people are siding with Katie Taylor. Before I give you my prediction, I want to talk a little bit about both of their careers, what they've been up to, and what you bettors can expect going into this fight. So let's take a closer look at Amanda Serrano and see what she's been up to in her career. Guys, Serrano's 47-3-1 with 31 knockouts. Out of 159 fighters in the world at 140 pounds, she's ranked number 2. She's fought a career total of 246 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 66% career knockout to win ratio. She is the IBO and WBO world champion at featherweight. Her adoring fans know her as the real deal, and the 36-year-old Puerto Rican is a 5'5" southpaw with a 65-inch reach. She was born in Puerto Rico and calls Carolina, Puerto Rico her home. We last saw her fight Katie Taylor, 23-1. She lost to UD in the 10th. Stevie Morgan, 14-1, stopped her in the 2nd. Ramos, 12-2, won a UD in the 12th. Heather Hardy, 24-2, UD in the 10th. Hernandez, 15-1, UD in the 10th. Sarah Mahfoud, 11-0, UD in the 10th. And guys, the fight before that, she lost a very close split decision to Katie Taylor. If you ask me, in terms of boxing, what a boxer looks like, the southpaw in Serrano, she ticks all the boxes. She could be technical, she could be aggressive, she has power. We already talked about with her impressive knockout to win ratio. As of late, we have seen her win more decisions than get stoppages. Some people are saying that lately she fights down to her opponents, and this trilogy with Katie Taylor is exactly what she needs to get up. I'm excited to see her game plan, see what she goes in there with in the first few rounds. It's something I always talk about. To keep in mind, she did accuse Katie Taylor of using her head and headbutting the last 2 fights. So that's always something to think about, especially in the back of your head when we're thinking about gambling and over and unders. We actually just saw this become a narrative in the Jack Catterall with Harlem Eubank fight. We saw Catterall win a technical decision due to a headbutt. So it's something to think about. I know a lot of the boys on the channel won money on the fight to not go the distance. So when we get to that part of the video, it's something to think about. Right now, let's look at the undisputed world champion, Katie Taylor, and see what she's been up to. All right, guys, Taylor is 24-1 with 6 knockouts. Out of 159 fighters in the world at 140 pounds, she's ranked number 1. She's fought a career total of 214 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 25% career knockout to win ratio. She holds all the belts at 140 pounds. She is the undisputed champion. The 39-year-old fighter from Ireland is a 5'5" orthodox fighter with a 66-inch reach. She was born in Bray, Ireland, and calls Connecticut, USA home. We last saw her fight Amanda Serrano, 47-2-1, won a UD in the 10th. Chantel Cameron the second time, 18-0, won a majority decision in the 10th. Chantel Cameron the first time, 17-0, lost a majority decision in the 10th. Carabajal, 19-0, won a UD in the 10th. Serrano, 42-1, won a split decision in the 10th. When you look at how Katie Taylor goes about her business, she's tough, she's gritty, she's fun to watch, she puts it on you, she puts a lot of volume on you, and she wants to make you uncomfortable. The last 2 fights, the judges gave this style more credentialed and more relevant than Serrano's style. And sometimes I think about that, and I gotta wonder inside with Serrano when she said, what were the judges looking? What fight to me is the biggest story of which one was the biggest, I don't want to say robbery, but you can say either fight 1 or fight 2. Like I said, I could have gave both of those to Serrano. It's insane that they both were given to Taylor, and that's another thing to think about going into the trilogy. When I look at both fighters side by side, height cancels themselves out. Naturally, Taylor is the bigger woman. She holds all the belts. In her eyes, on paper, history, the facts, stats don't lie, Taylor is 2-0 in this fight. So that gives her undoubtedly the psychological advantage. You also have to think about they've seen each other for 2 fights now. What could either one do so differently than they didn't do in the 2 fights before this? And because Serrano hasn't got a victory, she's the one that I'm going to expect to make a little bit more of adjustments because she's the one who has to get a victory. Before I get to my prediction, I want to let everybody know, guys, I do live streams every single day. In those live streams, we build our parlays throughout the week. We currently have our July long parlay still working because we picked Catterall and Cordina. I'm referencing that because it's in those live streams. You're going to see method of victory predictions, knockdown prop bets, over and unders, But in this video and all my Stats Don't Lie videos, you're only going to get my money line prediction. All right, guys, wherever you are in the world, pull out your betting apps. The app that I use down here in Sydney, Australia is called Sportsbet. And currently on the money line, Amanda Serrano is a $1.70 favorite, meaning you put $100 on Serrano, you get your money back plus 70 bucks. The draw is 13-1. And Taylor, the undisputed champion, the woman who was 2-0 against her opponent, is a $2.35 underdog, meaning you put $100 on Katie, you get your money back plus 135 bucks. It's a pretty interesting matchup. It's a fascinating matchup. Whatever side you guys choose to go on with your money, there's high value. There's high value in the money line. There's high value in this fight to go the distance. Something to think about though. Be hesitant. There's a high probability of a headbutt and a fight being stopped. So the money line would be safer in terms of fight go the distance, as well as you have to kind of throw the draw in there. I haven't seen the draw odds be this low with a fight in a long time. It's something to think about. Where I'm putting my money, the money line, I'm going all in on the Puerto Rican fighter. I think Serrano did enough to win the first two fights. I think in terms of tread on the tires, I think Taylor actually is the one that maybe is fading slightly. I also side with the motivation, the edgier, the psychological advantage, because Serrano thinks she won those two fights. You have to think the last few years, it's all she's been thinking about, and I'm definitely going to give that side to Serrano. I think she's going to go in there, execute her game plan. We're going to see a sharp Serrano as usual. She has more pop on her punches. I think she actually does the more classier work with her combinations. Guys, this isn't an echo chamber. Right now in the comment section below, are we going to hear and still for Taylor or and new for Serrano? Also, guys, stay tuned to the channel. We have so many fights. The next upload is going to be my fight breakdown, analysis, and prediction of Berlanga versus Shiraz, as well as all those other awesome fights on that card that takes place the day after this one. So stay tuned.